And hello, students for Business 4300 here in the spring of 2020. This is Professor Peter Gregory getting back to you. I got knocked out by a couple days of having a cold. I think that's been going around the mount there, and I hope all you are doing well. I'm okay. I probably sound worse on this than I actually am. My voice kind of gave out the other day, and that's been a little bit difficult teaching with that kind of in the way. But what I'm doing here is I want to catch up a little bit, and I do apologize. I missed you on Tuesday there. I was completely shot and didn't get around to being able to give you a message till it was much later in the day. So I think you all figured out that we weren't going to meet by Zoom. We'll recover from that, and this is part of it. Is something that I wanted to be able to explain to you is how to use this Connect system. I think there was an earlier video that I did, but this one will be a little bit more specific regarding on these assignments in the Pearson system as to how to use the data files that they're showing here. Okay, so this is from the instructor's perspective. This is the control portal for my lab for Pearson MyLab for the course. And I'm just previewing the assignment for homework 2.a, which was due last Sunday night, which would have been February 2nd. And I just wanted to be more specific about how this works. When you see a problem like this and it has a data set, you need to download the data and do the work inside that data set and save that out. Okay, so you need to be saving those Excel files as a show of your work here, because that's what I'm really interested in. Before this MyLab, we used to just work on the files, and now you go in here, you do the homeworks, and they're kind of giving you the files through the homework assignments. So it's operating a little bit differently this semester, at this time that I'm teaching it. All right. So on this problem, for instance, problem one, it's actually pretty fairly straightforward, simplistic warm up type question on here, but it shows that it says click the icon to view the table on students' pre MBA salary and post MBA salary expectations, right? So when you click this, this is what we need to do in the course, okay? When you click this, it shows you the data, but there's this little icon up here. So when you click that, it says open in Excel is what you want to do. Click open in Excel, and it will download it here. You have to look down here in this window. In this, it's a smaller browser window. I'm using Chrome. I'm not sure how exactly it will work in your browser if you're not using Chrome, but you select that. You click it, okay, and from in there, then here's the file. It comes in, and we spoke about this in the days early in the semester when we were meeting. Is you need to copy this to a master file. All right, so on the fly here, I'm going to create one. Say this was the very first assignment you did where you needed this Excel file, which it probably was. Okay, so I just created another blank master file that you're going to use for the entire course. Okay, so I'm going to file save that out, save as. I'll put it up on my desktop. That's not the best place for you, but for this purposes of this, fine. And I'm going to name it 99, my name, and I'll put in here master Excel file. Just put master Excel. Would be just fine. Name isn't perfect, it doesn't have to be exactly that. You can make it anything you want that means something to you, but don't make it too long, probably. And so I would just use that. Perhaps you might even want to put in there, that's satisfactory. I won't even change that. Okay, I'm just going to save that out. Okay, so we save that out. Now I'm going to flip over. I'm doing Alt Tab, and I flip back over to that other file that I have here. And what I'm going to do before I do anything else, I don't think I'm going to even need to click Enable Editing. I think all I need to do is grab the active data that I want like that and do a Control C. I use Alt Tab to flip back over. Of course, I'm on a PC. And I do a Control V, and it drops it in. Okay, so now the formatting can get a little bit messy like we have here. And for some reason, it's putting little green comments in our file. Let's go find out what's going on with this. But what I want to do is I want to make all of the columns auto-sized for the data that's in there. So I select the columns by going across the top. I hold down the left mouse button, and I select all these columns here. And all you need to do is on the last one, double-click the edge, and for each of the columns, it will appropriately size, how much space it needs in there. Now, let's see what goes on with the warning here. And it says a number stored as text. Okay, so for some reason, it's stored it as text. Let's see what's going on over here. Let's see what's going on. I have to do this on the fly. I don't script these, as you can tell. And That's kind of interesting. Okay, so this data was actually formatted. This data was formatted as text, which is kind of interesting. So I think what you're going to end up wanting to do is go back to your master file. If you see these green alerts actually appeared once I enabled editing, and the alerts appeared in the original file here. So you might run into this later in the course on other files. All right, so I'm going to go back to the master. I'm done with this, by the way. I'm done with this data that I just downloaded because I want to work on it in my master file, and I'm going to put down here homework 2.a. Okay, and if I go back over again, it was 2.1.1. Okay, we have to figure out. I can close that window out there. So it was the first question of homework 2.a. So we would name it. I'm gonna come back down here. Homework 2.a.1. It's the first problem. That's how you'd probably want to do it. It tells me it's homework 2.a. I get that, and then it's which question that you're working on. So it's dot one. All right, and then uh, what we could do is I am assuming that we would probably want to grab this data here and change them to go into format here, and I would make that probably accounting is my favorite method for doing that. And none of them have any decimal places. These are pretty large numbers. See, they're like in the thousands. I mean, it's rounded to the thousands. So we're just going to get rid of the decimal places here, and we'll leave that symbol in there as dollar. And did it behave well? I don't know. It looks like it still has the error in there. So I'm not sure what to do. That's not the point of this video. We'll take that at a different level. All right. And as you do homework 2.a.2, you would add that data in over here as they pop up. Homework 2.a.2. And if there was a different set of data, then you would drop it in here. And this file is going to get quite large. We talked about that in class. Through the course, you're going to end up with a couple dozen or more tabs along here as we're building up these homeworks. Make sure I can find the problems in here. I don't have a lot of time when I'm correcting everybody's work to spend individual attention trying to dig out what the where the problems are. So it's a bit of file management for you and tab management in Excel. All right. So I just want to give you that. That's just a heads up. And then when you get done with the homework, I will have a place in eClass for you to submit. And for this particular assignment, I don't believe I had submit point, which would have really been last week, would have been mod 2. And I'm going to create it right now. This is part of my instructions to you. I'm creating a submit point for the Excel file for Pearson, for this Pearson work in mod 2, and there'll be a spot there called, submit for Sunday night. Okay, so submit homework from Pearson for Sunday night, and that's where you're supposed to take this and deposit it. Okay, thanks very much. I hope that's helpful and clear. Let me know if you have any questions. All right.